Hey, it's Atlas. Time to sharpen up. Let's get into it. You have heard it 100 times. 10,000 hours. Put in 10,000 hours at anything and you become world class. There is just one problem. The scientist whose research it is built on says it is wrong, and what is actually true is far more useful to you. The 10,000 hour rule became famous in 2008 in Malcolm Gladwell's book Outliers. He pointed to the Beatles, who played thousands of hours in the clubs of Hamburg before they were famous. He pointed to a young Bill Gates, who got rare, almost unlimited access to a computer as a teenager in the 1970s. And in each case, the story was told the same way. Look how many hours they logged. That is the whole secret. Anyone could do it. And the takeaway the whole world remembered was simple and thrilling. Talent is basically a myth. Just grind out your 10,000 hours. It spread everywhere. Business books, sports coaches, self-help gurus, all repeating the same magic number as if it were a law of physics. It is a beautiful, democratic idea. Anyone can win if they just put in the time. It is also not what the science actually said. So where did that number really come from? It came from a 1993 study by a psychologist named Anders Ericsson at the Berlin Academy of Music. He studied violin students and split them into groups by skill level, from good to genuinely elite. The best players had indeed practiced a lot. By age 20, the elite group had logged on average around 10,000 hours. But here is the first thing Gladwell's famous version quietly left out. 10,000 was an average, not a finish line. Inside that top group, the range was enormous. Some elite performers had logged far fewer hours. Some good, but not elite players had logged more. The number was a rough middle of a very wide spread. It was never a magic threshold you crossed to unlock greatness. Ericsson himself later said plainly that the rule misrepresented his work. He was so frustrated he wrote an entire article to correct it. And this is the part that actually changes how you should train, starting today. Ericsson's real finding was never about how many hours you put in. It was about what kind of hours. He called it deliberate practice. And it is almost the opposite of just showing up and repeating something you already know. Deliberate practice has 4 features, and most people miss all 4. First, it targets a specific weakness, sitting just past what you can already do. Second, it is effortful and slightly uncomfortable the entire time. If it feels easy, it is not building anything. Third, it gives you immediate feedback so you can catch and fix your mistakes fast instead of grinding them deeper. And fourth, it demands your full concentration, not background repetition while your mind drifts somewhere else. A great violinist does not just play through pieces. They isolate the 2 hardest bars, slow them down, and repeat them until the mistake disappears, then move the target. So playing a song you have already mastered for the 1,000th time is not practice. It is a performance, and it barely makes you better at all. This explains something you have seen your whole life. The person who has driven for 40 years is not a Formula One driver. The weekend golfer who has played for 20 years is often no better than they were after the first 2. They stopped improving the moment their skill became comfortable and automatic. They kept logging hours, but the hours stopped teaching them anything. This is the great lie inside raw hours. Experience is not the same as improvement. Time served is not the same as skill built. Then, in 2014, a team of researchers put the whole rule on trial. A psychologist named Brooke McNamara led a review of 88 separate studies on practice and performance. The question was blunt. How much of the gap between top performers and everyone else does practice actually explain? The answer stunned the field. Across every domain they looked at, practice explained only about 12% of the difference in performance. And it varied wildly by field. In music, practice explained around 21%. In sports, about 18%. But in professions like sales or medicine, it explained less than 1% of the difference. Let that sink in. Practice matters enormously, but it is clearly not the only thing, and it is nowhere close to everything. And this is where the myth quietly turns cruel. Because if you believe hours are all it takes, then failing after all those hours must be your fault. People conclude they are broken or talentless and they quit, when the real problem was never their effort, it was the shape of their practice. So if it is not just raw hours, what actually separates the great from the merely good? The honest answer is that it is several things stacked on top of each other, and hours are only one layer. The age you start matters. Early exposure shapes a developing brain and body in ways that are genuinely hard to catch up on later. The quality of your coaching matters, maybe more than anything. A great teacher aims your effort at the right weakness, so you are not just rehearsing your mistakes for years. Even your starting point matters. Two people can do the identical training and improve at very different rates. And genetics quietly play a role. In height, in how fast you recover, even in how much hard practice you can handle before you burn out. There is even research suggesting that trying many things early, before you specialize, can beat an early head start. The writer David Epstein pointed out that Tiger Woods was handed a golf club as a toddler, but Roger Federer played dozens of sports before he ever settled on tennis. Both reached the very top. There was no single formula, and certainly no single magic number of hours. None of that is permission to quit. It is the opposite. It means your real job is not to worship a number. It is to practice smarter than the person training right beside you. Here is how you turn all of this into an actual advantage. Stop counting hours and start auditing them. 1 hour of focused, uncomfortable, feedback-rich work beats 5 hours of comfortable repetition. Find the exact edge of your ability, the thing you keep getting wrong, and aim your practice straight at that, not at the parts you enjoy because you are already good. Build in fast feedback. A coach, a recording, a test, a metric. Anything that tells you the truth quickly, before a bad habit sets like concrete. And guard your full attention while you train. Deliberate practice simply cannot happen with a phone buzzing beside you. Do that, and you will quietly pass people who have logged twice your hours because they spent all of theirs on autopilot. And here is the freeing part. You do not need decades. Studies of skills show that most of the fastest gains come early, when you are deliberately attacking your weaknesses. A focused month can outrun a lazy year. You are not behind because you started late. You are behind if you are practicing on autopilot at any age. The 10,000-hour rule survived for one reason. It flattered us. It promised that effort alone, in any amount, was always enough. The truth is harder, but so much better. You do not need a magic number of hours. You need deliberate, uncomfortable, fully focused practice aimed at exactly the right target. That is the real cheat code. Subscribe and go practice like it. Knowing it isn't enough. Go do it. Subscribe to Mindset Mechanics and let's build that discipline together.